What's happening, party people? I am here waiting for Mita to come out of the store. We actually walked to the store. I walked home, got a car, so she got some exercise today, which is good. Just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of update of what's going on. And hey, glad to be here today. One of my viewers say that some of their comments have been not visible, disappearing, stuff like that. So I poked around on YouTube and found a list of approved viewers, people that I have tagged as always approved their comments. So I added several of my followers to that list, people that I've met, spent a little time with, have known are solid people, good men, folks that I don't have to worry about deleting other people's comments for frivolous reasons, stuff like that. Mark, one of them, my buddy out there, LAJ, and my buddy up in Maine, Rudy, and several others, you guys. So if you were having issues with your comments not showing up or disappearing, let me know. If you're not on that list already, I can add you to that list. And this, of course, is for people that I trust and know and believe have my best interest in mind when they're making comments and moderating other people's comments. So you guys can actually delete comments that you see. A few of you guys used to delete these spam messages and porn related messages, stuff like that. Just delete that garbage if I don't see it. I try to check my YouTube comments daily, a couple times during the day, so I can catch that stuff too. But hey, I appreciate your help. While I was poking around in YouTube, I found a statement on YouTube said I had like 5,700 videos. I would almost say that qualifies this as being a full-time job. YouTube is not paying me well for this job, so I appreciate those of you that have joined Patreon and helped support me in that. Man, it's something. I didn't know I had that many videos. I've probably deleted 3,000 videos. Stuff that just wasn't useful, stuff that I've remixed, stuff that used to be daily. I used to just delete those videos instead of moving them over to Patreon. But now those videos are being posted to Patreon. So that's where they're at. If you want to see daily videos, go to Patreon. You don't have to pay. That's a free option on Patreon. You go to the Patreon website. The link is in every one of my videos that I've posted over the years, especially the last 3-4 years. Click that link, go to Patreon, and just watch the daily videos there. Appreciate the donations. Had a couple more people give a donation toward the printer. I'm waiting for that thing to come in. Looking forward to it. I've got several ideas for fun t-shirts and stuff like that, so that's where we're going. Man, let me tell you something. Right now, I'm in the process of detailing the exterior of Lemonade, bringing that paint back to life, polishing it. And I must say, that's probably the hardest job I've done all year. I'm sore at night, can't hardly move. I hit the pillow, boom, lights out. People can't wake me up. It's a tough job, polishing that thing. But, you know, the plan was to get that thing back to Cincinnati from Seattle, send it right to the paint shop. Unfortunately, that's just not the budget. So Lemonade is going to have to go with a blemished exterior until I can afford to send that thing to the paint shop. It's got a couple spots on there where it has some light, minor surface rust. A couple spots where people tried to put a little primer on there. So it's just, you know, it's not a show car. And then I think 4 of the doors in one of the panels have been clear coated in the past. Somewhere in the past, this car had some door repairs done, and that paint doesn't look as good as the original paint. People always say, clear coat's the way to go. Man, while I'm polishing this thing, the original faded paint has come back to life, popped nice, deep, gold, pastel yellow. And this stuff that's been clear coated is faded, whitish, clear coat, chipping and peeling off. It just looks horrible, in my opinion. So the stuff that's original is looking better than the stuff that was clear coated. So I don't know why people think clear coat's the better option. It may be less care to look somewhat shiny, but if you're taking care of your car, washing the exterior, polishing it once a month, the top surface, polishing the entire car twice a year, man, this single stage that Volvo had on these yellow cars is definitely good. Another thing, people are still finding my old email address, sending emails to robert@robertspinner.com or rs@robertspinner.com. And man, I just almost never use that email address. I go in there and check it once every 6 months, and I'm probably going to file email bankruptcy on that account. So if you're sending emails over there, you found that somewhere, just stop it. If you're going to the Robert Spinner website, I'm getting ready to link that to the Robert DIY website. There are people sending checks and stuff to my address in Albuquerque. They don't know I've moved to Cincinnati and I've lost the ability to edit that website. So I'm just going to move the domain over to Robert DIY domain and just use that. I do travel. Some people don't know this, but I do travel to do repairs. Those of you that know and requested, man, some people are still, man, haven't seen me. They made their initial request for my appearance 2 years ago. So I have decided to schedule my travel. And I'm headed to those people that have projects that have been waiting for me for a long time. If you're in that path and you requested my help for something in the last 6 months or something, and your request will take a half day or less than a day, I'm open to stopping in there, taking care of that, and moving on to that project. But I'm headed towards these projects. Anybody in the way, I'll trip over and take care of you. But I'm not scheduling any more projects ahead of my existing projects. So the existing projects will take priority. The secondary projects will have to come in behind those. And anything that takes longer than a day to me is a project. Manual swaps, project. Cylinder head, that could be a project. Because every time somebody gets me within their grasp, the list grows. So I'll show up to do a cylinder head and then they'll throw on 9 other repairs. I don't have a problem with that. It just wrecks my schedule. And people ask, when are you coming? I don't know. I got 3 jobs ahead of being there, and I don't know if those jobs are going to take 2 days or 4 weeks. So I don't know. I don't mind you asking, but if you're pressing me for a answer, you're just forcing me to lie to you, because I have no idea how long it'll take me to get to you. So keep that in mind. Those jobs turn into, the other day I went to do a steering rack on Tony's V70, and that thing turned into a job. We ended up doing a clutch job because it was so hard getting the subframe down. The edge that I wanted to lower to get the steering rack out was stuck to the car. Had to catch that thing on fire and burn the rubber to get that thing to let loose. And then the subframe was totally down. Might as well have done the clutch job while we were there. So we ended up doing that. So a job that could have lasted 4 to 6 hours ended up taking, almost 20 hours. Steering rack, clutch, couple of mounts, couple of tidbits here and there, waiting on parts, stuff like that. It took almost 2.5 full work days. So yeah, that's just the way it happens sometimes. Now I went to go detail my car, Lemonade, polish the exterior, refinish that with a detail job, and something I thought would take 6 hours. I'm 12 hours and counting. It's going to be another 4 hours. So that's going to be 16, 18-hour job doing that, polishing and stuff. So stuff just is tough, man. Last but not least, man, this temperature. I don't know when summer's going to leave. Today is supposed to be 94 here in Cincinnati. That's absurd. And I'm supposed to finish this detailing job and then start an engine swap on a S70. So it's going to be a tough day for me out in this heat. And it just is what it is. I got to keep working. That's all I can afford to do. I can't afford not to. So that's where I'm at. I appreciate you all watching. I'm going to add some clips, highlights from the past week in this video. You guys, I appreciate you watching them. Go over to the Patreon side. I'm getting an average maybe of 8 views a video over on Patreon. Where over here I was averaging about 250. So people just don't care to go over there and watch videos even though they're free. So I don't understand that, but that may not change anytime soon. So if you want those daily videos, pop over there and watch them. I appreciate your time. Thanks for your support. Hope you have a great day. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Getting ready to remove these wheels and install those. I think I need these spacers right here. Well, to my surprise, Pepper has a big brake upgrade. So these wheels won't even fit on there. Here it is, 8:30 a.m. I am often amazed of how comfortable deer are right in the middle of a community. Folks, we are here to do a steering rack on Tony's car. Well, folks, we are at a stopping point. That subframe bushing sleeve is stuck to the post on the frame of the car. I assume it's rusted in there. We put some heat on it. We put some PB Blaster on it. We beat on it, pried on it. And the only thing that may be left is to just tear it out and replace that subframe bushing. So I'm gonna get a subframe bushing, go try to get John's car running, and we will be back here tomorrow. Kicking off my day on my exercise. Wonder what this little fella's up to. Little garden snake. Man, he's moving slow. Hadn't seen one of these in a while. Well, now I know they're around here. I was tearing into this throttle body to put a magnetic pickup on it and learned that it was binding. Sticks open. I talked to Alex. He said there's some corrosion going on inside. I think a magnet or something, and it's binding it up. It's pointless to rebuild it. It's a useless unit. You could cannibalize it for electronic parts, but fortunate for me, I don't have to do that because there was a S60 dropped in the local salvage yard recently. This was on a 99. I got it off a 99. It was a remanufactured Volvo one with the white sticker. There's the white sticker there. Not sure how long ago, but when I took it off the car in the salvage yard, it had the same software as Byron's car, so it worked fine. As you can see, this one has the white sticker on there. It has been remanufactured by Volvo or whoever they used to do that for them. So it should have the sealant in there that's easy to get out. I'm glad about that. Here's the label I made for these things. I'm gonna cut it out, tape it right there, put some clear packing tape over it. Maybe that'll last, who knows. But let me go ahead and get that on there. I could be wrong, but I think this car has had an ETM light on or ETS light on, and since we had it. So let's see what happens now. It came with an ETM that was rebuilt by Zamodex, but it went bad. Here we go. No ETS light, and it's idling smooth. I'm gonna let it idle here for about a minute and take it for a test drive. Even has brakes. That ETM was even messing up the brakes. Let's take it for a spin. Woohoo! We got power, folks. Oh yeah, we're good to go. We got all this wiring in the engine just about set, ready to finalize it. And then we got the gauges on the inside here. just about wired up here. Oh, I got them separated so I can wire them up here. So we're going to do this engine compartment first. Here is John's die grinder. Man, that thing is very useful in enlarging these holes in this pod so that I can get these gauges in here. Now I'm going to set these gauges in place on the pillar, clock them, and then secure them. And here we are, folks. AEM all the way. Hey, we can move them a little bit, but they all look relatively level. Gonna kick off the day. Once again, getting these wheels off of Pepper. I'm putting on these Titans. I found some pretty new Michelins in my garage. I forgot I made a trade with somebody with these things. They're almost 3 years old. Excellent tread. So that saved me from having to buy tires for these. So that was a great feeling yesterday, finding those in the basement. Let me go ahead and park this car on the street where it belongs and get to my doctor's appointment. First thing I'm gonna do is support this engine. I didn't realize it, but last time I supported the engine by that bracket there. I guess as long as you don't try to lift it, it'll be okay. So let me put the engine support brace in here, take a couple of these things off the top, because I believe we're going to do a clutch job. There it is, folks. The subframe is finally out. I twisted that thing, had the subframe pointed to that car over there, and that rubber just wasn't all the way torn, but we set it on fire, and that rubber could not hang on. So we got to beat that out of there, put the other one in there, get the steering rack off. It's just about off, just got to disconnect the line. Then we're going to pull the transmission out and replace the clutch kit. Then put all that back together and we'll be done. I'll be back in 5 minutes. There it is. Part of the subframe bushing on the post. Let's see if we can get this thing out. You see the post up in there. We're going to put a pipe wrench on it, heat it up, see if it'll twist off. And this is what this post is supposed to look like. And that's what we're working with.
It's a victory I would never have seen.
Another win for heat. Don't touch that for about a day or two. That will burn your freaking hand off. 16 on there. And smack it. And it's moving. I've got it moved about a quarter of a turn so far. Maybe a half. It's definitely stuck in there. Smacking it, smacking it, smack it, smack it, Robert, smack it. Hopefully it's coming out. I think it is. We are on a work stoppage. We got this clutch kit from FCP, and it came with this slave cylinder that looks a little different. This is the Volvo one that came out of it original. It's got a metal rod, some kind of adapter tip on it. This one here is the one that we got with the kit. Somebody stuck a Lux sticker on there. It looked like they did it with masking tape. It's got a pin there instead of being screwed in there. And the boot is loose from it. It just feels Chinesium. And it breathes when you compress it. I got one in the car that doesn't breathe, and this Volvo one doesn't breathe. So we're kind of concerned that this maybe won't work right. So that's where we're at. We're going to get another clutch kit, hopefully get a better slave cylinder and go from there. Chasing a couple holes because that RN intake manifold doesn't need that hole right there. I wasn't sure about this one, so I chased it anyway. All the accessories are in place and the new serpentine belt tensioner. New serpentine belt. We went with the P80 pump because it has a metal pulley instead of the plastic one that can break easy. The P2 transmission had P2 clips on it. You could use the P80 clips. You can also put a washer there, a washer on this side, and then cut half of this clip off like I'm doing here, and then put that on there. All right, so we're having an issue with the shifter location hooked up to the cables. The shifter is more to the passenger side than we're accustomed to, not more to the driver's side. So, and it seems like if the cable was positioned back further, about an inch back this way, this linkage, that would be different. So I don't know if this linkage is different on the regular M56 transmissions or not, but at its current position, it leaves us with the shifter a little bit toward the passenger side. All right, folks, we are back at it. We have come to the conclusion that this point of this shifter, which is laying in neutral, would be better served on the inside if it was here. Here feels centered for the shifter. Here feels like the shifter is too far to the passenger side. So we're considering maybe taking an arm, welding it on here, and having this attached about 3/4 of an inch back. Let me make that measurement and see what I got. Turns out that movement is a 1/2 inch. So if this cable was either a 1/2 inch longer or this connection was a 1/2 inch further back, we'd be good to go. It would feel nice and natural. I thought about re-drilling that pin, but that pin doesn't move enough to matter, and I don't know if that'll put any kind of stress or bind on the movement of the cable. Anyway, we're going to investigate that. In the meantime, we're going to put the car together, get it running, make sure everything is good, and then maybe focus on coming in later and making that change. Our OTE pipe was hitting the back of this torque mount and the edge of that head. So we modified that, unfortunately, or you got to get the special tube and maybe OTE pipe to go over your RN engine when you're dealing with this 850. So we clipped a little bit off of that head and some off of this bracket, and the bracket's going to be held down by 3 bolts instead of the normal 4, and it'll be grounded. I was able to maneuver the exhaust around a little bit. Looks like I got it off the bumper and centered, so that's a good thing. I would count to like 20 and then give it a 10-second rest. Yeah, let's go ahead and flash the tune first. We got flashing completed. Time to go racing. We are tapping out for the night. No fuel. We gotta figure out why we don't have fuel. And we did a lot, so we got a lot to back up on. So we pulled all the plugs. It looks like number 2 is getting a little gas and just a hint on the rest. So we cranked it with the plugs out, and number 2 is puffing out fuel. So number 2 is getting fuel, but we don't think the rest of them are. So we got a test light deal here.
This is the one that's supposed to fit the Bosch.
And we're going to plug this into our fuel injector wire and see if we get a light pulse. We got a Nord light hooked up. It is flickering.
Okay, we'll move to the next plug and we'll try them.
Yeah, let me try that. Try that number 2. Yeah, it is. It's flickering. All right, go ahead. Yep. It's flickering.
Okay.
All right, John, so let's assume the fuel injectors are bad.
Okay, I got another set of greens.
Let's do that. Contact. All right. 155. That's very good. All right. Wonder what that first skippy thing was.
Sounds like it's getting a little compression.
So there you have it, folks. After all that work, we have a no start issue. It's cranking fine. Compression's good. We kept troubleshooting and found out that we only had 1 or 2 cylinders that was firing. So we're having a spark issue. We're also having an issue, I think, with getting sufficient fuel in the cylinders, because usually you'll have fuel puff out of the cylinders when you're cranking with the spark plugs removed. Not 100% sure on that, but we're definitely not getting spark on all cylinders. So this is going to conclude the modification series. Sadly, this is the first no start that I have ever had after a project. And part of the issue probably is, man, we replaced all the wiring with a wire harness under there. We went with coil over plug. We did several other improvements, we believe, modifications to the car, and we did it all at once. So we got to narrow down what the problem is and get this thing started. And it's probably going to boil down to chasing wires. That could take hours. So we're not going to film all that stuff here. I will report back to you guys once the car is up and running, what it actually took to get the car started. And hey, we appreciate you watching the series, and we hope you have a great day. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for @RobertDIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the more link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.